The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Colonie TV. I'm Evelyn Neale, Director of the William K. Sanford Town Library, and we're going to be starting a series on financial literacy. Today I welcome with me my guest, Gretchen Myers from Gretchen Meyer's Financial. Welcome, Gretchen.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Yes, we're getting into the holiday season, so we're happy to have you to help us talk about strategies for the holiday season.
Yes, ma'am. I have 10 financial strategies that'll help us get through the holiday season.
Excellent.
Yep.
Before we get started, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Awesome. My name is Gretchen Meyer, and I own a business called Gretchen Meyer Financial. Tagline is financial insight and inspiration for women.
Wonderful.
I specialize in helping women achieve their financial goals. I got into this financial planning practice actually as a second career. I used to work for the NFL.
Excellent.
No, I was not a quarterback, and no, I was not a cheerleader. There I managed their non-apparel consumer products business, and I oversaw what we call trinkets and trash, the things that people buy.
Yep.
And when I first got there in 2007, we were targeting women for the first time. And I relate this to financial planning because financial planning and football has been historically a man's world, right?
True. Definitely.
So when I got there, we were targeting women, and we were doing what we call the shrink it and pink it. We just took men's jerseys and we made them smaller and we made them pink. And we said, here, Evelyn, buy this jersey. And you said, oh my goodness, I don't want this jersey.
It's not in my team colors.
It's not in the team colors, right?
Yep.
And it was long and baggy and you felt like you were wearing a nightgown. And most women, when they're wearing their jerseys, they're usually in the presence of men. And so therefore, they usually want to look cute and feel good about themselves, right?
Yes.
And moreover, we didn't have products that enabled women to experience football that was just for them. Like, for example, we prefer wine over beer.
Right.
And we didn't really have any wine glasses. We didn't have any team wine glasses.
Okay.
We wear purses. We don't carry around wallets. And yet we didn't have any purses that women could carry around. And there were no diaper bags, and there were no cute earrings, and there was no team color nail polish until I helped to create that experience uniquely for women. So after business school, I went to Columbia, and we did a lot of work there on the customer experience. And what I did was develop that experience along with my personal experience of a devastating divorce, whereupon my ex-husband left me with a ton of debt, ruined credit, and really financially devastated me. So after that experience, combined with my professional experience at the NFL, I came up with this idea of financial planning that was uniquely for women, and created an experience of financial planning that was more fun, more accessible. So if you see me at a wine bar, sometimes I'm with my friends, but my friends are my clients, and most of the time I'm just getting to know my clients one-on-one. So we're building that trust together, and we're forging a long-term relationship. So in a way, I'm investing with my clients long before they start potentially investing with me. So it's creating that experience of relating to one another, and much like the NFL, created an experience that was uniquely for women.
So it's a real personal experience.
Yeah.
It's a real, it's really about the client that you're working with. It's not just about what their finances are.
Right, exactly. And we're in this for the long haul. You know, somebody who's getting divorced or somebody who's had a terrible accident and is working with an attorney there, they might be working with that person for 1 or 2 years. My experience with clients is working with them for the rest of their lives, and even generationally.
Sure.
So you have maybe a family and maybe somebody has passed away, and then I start working with their children. But it's really creating that longevity in the relationship that makes it a little bit more special. And I don't just work with women, by the way.
I am not going to ask.
I'm not a man hater, right?
No.
So I do work with increasingly more couples. It's usually the woman coming to me and saying, honey, we need to get our act together.
Right.
We need
our
to
children are going to college, or
exactly,
we want to buy a new house. How are we going to accomplish that goal?
Absolutely. And it's usually, you're right, in periods of transition where people have that aha moment of, oh my gosh, I need to do something about my financial situation. So it could be bad, divorce, widowhood, and of course it could be fabulous, having a baby, empty nesters. Sometimes that's fabulous, sometimes not, right?
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
But it's usually people in a period of transition, maybe getting a new job, that the light bulb turns on and they say, I need to have somebody. So really it's creating that awareness that there's somebody who's like normal and fun and is accessible to them, and I'm not maybe, the typical financial planner, don't really act in that manner.
It's not scary or salesy.
No, and in fact, we should have a good time, and I use fabulous analogies that people understand, like mutual funds are like chili. And everybody says, wait, what did you just say? Right.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned on that. We'll go over that maybe another time.
All right. So we're getting into the holiday season. And like you said, we usually think about our financials at times of transition.
Yep.
And this holidays always sneak up on us.
I know.
And in fact, we probably should have done this about a month ago. But here we are.
Maybe a couple months ago.
Yes.
Maybe we should have started last January, in fact. But
yes.
Yeah.
But, here we are. What would be your number one advice?
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned it. The biggest thing I see with people is, it's December, and they already have a credit card bill, and all of a sudden they're saying to me, well, I need to save for the holidays. How do I actually go about saving for the holidays? And I said, well, had we done this budget maybe earlier in the year, we might have had a line item in their budget for saving for the holidays. Now we're in November, and I wouldn't say it's too late. It's never too late to start. I always say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
There you go.
So we just start where we are, and we figure it out. But, I would say if we could start in September, that might be an ideal time because we're rounding the fall and people are starting to think about the holidays.
Yeah, and after we get our kids back to school, or we get ourselves kind of back into that mindset, we can really, start setting aside money and other
preparing.
things. Yes, totally preparing.
Exactly.
What is preparing mean when we prepare for the holidays?
Yeah, I guess that would be step number 2, is having a goal in mind. Having a budget and really having a plan for what are we doing? What is the goal? Maybe have a total in mind. Maybe I want to spend this year $500, and really sticking to that dollar amount, because if we're going over that budget, then it's just going to go on the credit cards, and that can really put us in a hole for January and really set us up up for a terrible year next year.
Sure.
So to that end, I would say have a dollar figure in mind and use cash. Cash is king.
Yep. Do you believe in setting aside money in envelopes? Saying, so this is my Christmas fund, kind of.
Absolutely. I mean, I advocate for envelopes for any kind of financial planning. Have a grocery budget. Maybe it's you spend $100 a week and you walk in with $100 bill, and that's it. And that will limit you from buying, the third box of cereal where you had 2 perfectly good boxes of cereal in the cabinet.
Right, sure.
Similarly, having a cash, maybe you're saving $25 a week up until Christmas time, or you're using that cash and you're stuffing it in the envelope.
Right.
Obviously, if you're starting faster or earlier in the year,
Right.
the less you actually have to save per week to get ready for the holiday
So
season.
it's easier.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and what about stores? When we go into stores, there's so many things to buy, and we're so tempted to, buy for ourselves and buy for, cousin Jack, and that would be perfect for, my neighbor. And, so there's two issues there. Do we buy Christmas presents for everybody? And when we go into the stores, how do we manage the last minute factor?
Well, when you go into stores, go in with a list. I always find that I happen to say, oh, well, there's one for me and one for Evelyn, right?
Yes.
I tend to do that, and I don't think I'm the anomaly in that situation of, buying for myself just as much. And, by the time I get to Christmas, for me personally, that's what I celebrate, is actually having more for myself than potentially that I bought for anybody else.
Yeah.
So I would say, limit the amount of things that you buy for yourself, or maybe say, when I'm going out for holiday shopping, I can limit it to just one thing for myself. But when you walk in a store, really have a list, have that game plan of, okay, I said I would go to Best Buy, and I'm going to buy this widget for so-and-so, and
Right.
that's pretty much it. Also, as I mentioned before, don't use the credit cards. I know that TJ Maxx or Best Buy or, all of these stores have a credit card
Sure.
that they're trying to incentivize people
Yeah.
to use. And of course, my clients will tell me, oh, but I get 3% off. Right, but they're charging 27% APR over the time that they're going to use it. So if you're not going to pay the credit card off at the end of the month, certainly stay away from those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a scary trap. We get those coupons from Macy's, 20% off or a one-day sale, and the better deals are, of course, with the card. We have to kind of resist that temptation.
Yes. Yep. Especially, you can use the credit card if you're going to pay it off at the end of the month, but that can get you in a hole, because 20% off on one item certainly doesn't equate to paying the 27%.
At the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. So, what about alternatives to gifts? Do you recommend that?
Yeah, absolutely. Gifts are fantastic, but I would say get creative in what you're doing over the holidays. I personally I make cookies.
Okay.
I am definitely not the world's greatest baker by any means,
Yep.
but I have a good time. I put the holiday music on. I have a glass or three of wine.
It's okay.
And I make some cookies, and I go to Walmart and I buy cookie tins for $1.
Right.
And I get some papers, festive paper, and I make maybe 5 to 6 kinds of cookies. And that could be a day for me or two of making cookies for people, and then I hand deliver them. And so that becomes my way of connecting with people at the holiday and giving something a little less expensive, perhaps, than other presents, and it's a little bit more personal.
That personal touch. We've gotten a little bit away from that personal touch for the holidays.
Absolutely.
It really means so much more. Mm-hmm. And not everybody's a baker, but you could do crafts, or photographs. There's so many different creative ideas that you can get into that would make it a much more personal experience.
Yeah. I just had my birthday, for example, and one of my friends handmade a card for me. And I'll tell you, I had at least a dozen cards. It was wonderful. But that handmade card really touched me quite a bit. And I'm sure it took her maybe an hour or two to do, and that was the best gift that I got.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and I think that most people really feel that way. Is that more personal experience is a more valuable experience. Another alternative would be creating a memory with somebody. So creating a tradition of, getting together for lunch or getting your girlfriends together. So instead of exchanging gifts, just sharing a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or, a meal, doing a potluck, and making that your Christmas tradition or holiday tradition.
I love it.
Yeah, so that you're not really spending on each of those people.
And that's another thing, is doing activities that maybe don't cost, a whole lot.
Right.
For example, you can get together with your friends, absolutely. Maybe go see a movie. That'll cost a little bit less than shopping in the mall, for example.
Right.
Even less expensive is maybe going tubing. Go
Right.
outside and enjoy the weather, embrace the weather, make a snowman.
Sure.
Make cookies, do something that will cost you, or even go see the lights. Those are awesome to go see, and it won't cost you very much, if not anything.
There's so many outdoor skating arenas in the area, in Saratoga, at the plaza. You could really, again, create a memory, and that's going to be so much more valuable. It's going to stick with you for so much longer than that credit card bill.
Exactly.
Although that's the goal.
The credit card bill could be there for quite a long time.
Right.
But then if you come to me, we can work on a strategy for that. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
What about coupons and sales?
Yeah. Well, sales for sure. Definitely look out for when sales are coming. Macy's is constantly having a sale. I don't know why anybody would walk into Macy's on a non-sale day, because they quite frequently have it. But it's not only Macy's; it's other stores, and certainly around the holiday times, they will promote special sales. After 11 p.m. or after midnight, you can go in the store and go after that. Right. Coupons are also fantastic. Again, it goes along with the list that you're going to want to create. I just learned about an app called Coupon Sherpa. Have you heard about this app?
I have not heard about it.
Oh my gosh, it's great. It has all of these stores. For example, JCPenney's on any given day will have 25% off, or Macy's will have 20% off or something like that.
Cool.
And you don't even need to cut the coupons and remember to bring them with you.
Right.
As long as you have this app, you can type in the store that you're going to go find and see, and you can just walk right in and you'll have the coupon right there, and they can scan it right there for you. So get creative with coupons, because they really can save quite a bit. And then you don't need the credit card to be able to get you those savings.
Right, and then there's so many more around. Coupons have become so much more popular.
Yep.
Couponing and it's a living for people these days.
I know. I think that had a pejorative connotation maybe a couple of years ago, as people walking around with coupons. But today it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to have coupons.
Definitely.
Yep.
So what would you say is the most important thing about the holidays that we need to remember?
Of course, the spirit of the holiday, right?
Yes.
We talked about building memories and creating traditions, and I really feel like, a memory is free. It's priceless, but it's free.
Yep.
And, that experience that you have with someone, it could just be much more meaningful to you. And, it's what the holidays are about, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's about family, it's about connecting, and it's about enjoying your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than rush through, from November, from the day after Thanksgiving through the, end of the year, rush through and feel like you've maybe not gotten the right gifts or done the right thing. Spend that time in gratitude and just joy with the people that you enjoy.
Yeah,
right.
Because January is going to come around.
Yeah.
And you're going to have missed it.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, before we even started this, about going from thing to thing to thing.
Yep.
And if you don't stop to smell the roses, so to speak, you're going to
enjoy the eggnog.
Each thing, right? Exactly. Might as well have a good time, right?
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So that's, I would say that for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much, Gretchen, for stopping by today and
You're welcome.
helping us get ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
And included in our series, we're going to talk about kicking off the new year, healthy, wealthy, and wise. We're going to talk about tax season come April, and about just enjoying local events for the summer and keeping our budget intact.
Yep.
So we have a lot of planning, a lot of fun to be had coming up. And we'll see you again in January.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.
Excellent. Thanks so much.